Hi, welcome to Black to Bitcoin, where we talk about the need for Bitcoin in the Black community. Today, we are going to be talking about war, how it affects us financially as Black people, and of course, I'm going to go into the Bitcoin solution. But before we get into that, just want to say please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and preface this whole thing by saying, yes, we are actually in a war when I am making this video. So we're at war with Iran. It's been going on a couple of weeks. So this video is very relevant, but it's also relevant to every war in the past and every war that will be in the future. So there's that. And then I also just want to kind of talk about our relationship with wars in general. And it's basically that while we're only 13 to 14% of the population, we do make up 17 to 21% of the military. And if you really sit back and think about that, you realize that we are sacrificing more than we are existing. And that is a problem, especially when it's for a country that doesn't really care about us. Now, I just wanted to put that out because I wanted to make it clear that this isn't just about money. There are also many other parts and aspects that make war and Black people problematic. All right? So just getting that out the way. But now I am going to get into the financial stuff. Of course, I have my notes here to keep me on track. All right, the first thing I have is that inflation erodes cash savings. So, when there is a war, it gets very, very expensive to fund, okay? And there's only a few ways to fund a war. And the first one is help from allies, which is not happening in this one for sure because they already said no. They're like, y'all are doing the most, we're not helping you. Then there are the taxpayers, of course, you and I, that's everybody, not just us as Black people. And then the last one is they print more money. And the last one is the way that most of the war is funded. Now, money printing is what causes the dollar value to go down, and it also causes inflation. So it affects cash in both ways, how much you're spending and how much you're making. And the problem with that for us as Black people is that we hold most of our savings in cash. So we're not benefiting from war in any way. We are just completely, once the war comes, we are adding to problems. We are adding to things that are already going wrong. It just adds an extra layer of stress on our financial system. Now, that kind of leads into the second point that I'm making, which is assets in general. They serve as a protection with war economies. So when wars hit, inflation is high, and everything is stressful, people who have assets are the ones that can rest a little easier because they have something that they know is appreciating, and most likely they've had something over time that is worth a lot more than what it did before. So they've actually kept up with inflation. It's the opposite with the cash. So wars, they somewhat benefit people with assets because even though it's stressful on them, wars usually indicate more money spending, which usually equals the opposite for assets, which means that they appreciate. So that is where that kind of goes hand in hand with the assets and the cash flow. And the very last thing, this video isn't going to be very long because I'm not really going to talk about war a lot. And I just wanted to do this because it's relevant to the times. And I want to make the point that everything is tied to money and Blackness and has some kind of implication of why Bitcoin will fix it. So just saying that this video won't be super long, but the last thing I do want to talk about, and this is probably the most interesting aspect of this whole thing, is how our veterans as Black people are treated and the history of why it actually has affected us generationally. Okay? So, and I'm going to try to keep my thoughts together. I might blabber on this because I got to keep these, it's hard to articulate this the way I want. So I'm going to do the best I can. But I mentioned that we're 17 to 21% of the population, which means that we are, sacrificing a lot. Well, there were other implications of this. So when we went to war, and I forgot to look up which war. I don't know which war this bill was put into play, but it's called the GI Bill. So this bill was created to help soldiers reinstate themselves or reassimilate themselves into society after the war. Because of course it's a very trying experience on you financially when you come back, and it also psychologically messes with you, right? So they came up with this GI Bill. So I'm going to tell you the things that it was supposed to offer to all veterans. It was supposed to help them get college education. So giving them, access to figuring out, what their next steps were for their, their college years. Low interest rate on homes. So that never happened. But I'm going to go into the ways that these things didn't happen. But low interest rate on homes. So they were supposed to be able to get a house with a low interest rate. They were supposed to get unemployment benefits. And the last thing was they were supposed to get job training. Now, to have skills beyond just being in the Army. Now, those things did not happen for Black soldiers when they got back. Basically, these were the barriers for the college part. At this point, colleges were still rejecting Black people. So the schools that they could use it for, they couldn't use it for anyways because they were not even accepted into the school. The lower interest rate on homes, that was completely sidelined, and that had a lot to do with redlining and the drawing of districts and cities and neighborhoods to prevent lenders for being able to give these Black people, these Black veterans, their fair rates on the interest rates for the loans. I'm tongue-tied, but you know what I mean. The unemployment benefits, I didn't see anything on that specifically, so I will skip that one, but I can only imagine there was some kind of, skirting for Black people on that. Just don't have any specific example. And then the last one was the job training, which was a complete barrier because the jobs had to exist for there to be job training, right? And of course, white veterans got the first dibs on jobs, so those things never came into play. Now, the interesting thing about this whole thing with the veterans is that when I originally wrote this list and was looking this stuff up, I just had it at surface level, like what it's actually saying, like they were denied this, they were denied that. But after reflecting on it, I thought about the way this ties into generational wealth as well. Because if you think about it, if one of those soldiers that was denied the college education or the home or the job opportunity, if they actually got that, they would have been able to pass that down to the future generations. So you get a good job, that's more money for the family, that trickles down. You have a house, that's real estate, that trickles down. College education, you're in there. A lot of times getting into a college, having an alumni that is associated helps you get into the school. So even in that, in just what our soldiers were provided after they actually came back from war, affects our generational wealth. And since that's what we talk about on the channel, I think that's a perfectly beautiful tie-in for the war and Black people. So that just kind of hit me after I actually, I had done another video, but I kept stumbling, and I stumble anyway, so you can imagine how stumbly that video was. But while I was doing that video, I thought about that, and now I can actually put it in this video. So maybe it worked out for the good anyways. But all right, that's all I pretty much have as far as that goes. But then I have how Bitcoin is the solution. So the first thing is that it's a fixed supply. So it can't be inflated, and it can't cause problems the same way money does. Well, not money, because Bitcoin is money, but dollars can. Okay, so the fixed supply is part of the solution. Also, it's easy to own. So a lot of the assets that I was talking about before, there are barriers to entering to get them. But with Bitcoin, you can start with $1 and build it from there. It's very easy to own, and that is something that can be passed down. And then, we don't have to even deal with wars, but that's a whole nother thing. But yes, okay, it is easy to own. And then the last thing is no reliance on systems against us, which is basically the whole premise of this channel and Bitcoin in general. It cuts out the middleman, okay? We don't need other people to give us permission to have low interest rates and, opportunity with this and give you... No, Bitcoin eliminates the need for that, period. Okay, so that's all I have for this video. Give me any comments that you have about war, your opinions on it, how you feel about it. Do you think Bitcoin is a solution to it? Any thoughts? I love to see any thoughts on any of this stuff. It's really interesting. And all perspectives. I've already had people completely disagree with me in comments, and I'm totally good with that. I will still reply because I think open dialogue is great. You're not going to convince me that Bitcoin ain't amazing, but I will engage. You're not going to do that, but I will talk to you about it, okay? All right, so other than that, make sure you've subscribed to the channel, give me a like, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.